you guys were going to get here. I was just reading some scary stories in the meantime from the Scary Stories Treasury, which these books were so much fun to read when I was in elementary school or middle school. I think it might have been middle school when I was really reading these, like right around the 6th grade. Definitely check them out. But hi, yes, I've been waiting for you to get here so I could talk to you about the books I've been reading. So I've been reading some really fun ones. And oh my gosh, no, you're right. I'm sorry. I did not introduce you to my space. Hi, I know you already know me. I'm Stagetrinity, and this is my cozy, comfy little area of my house where I like to do reading and collecting things. So I am glad to be able to spend some time with you guys in my cozy space where we talk about books in my little review series that I'm working on called Once Upon a Slumber Party, which is basically a big, not so big. my little big space where we talk about books that I'm reading, share some reviews in it, kind of talk about things in the book, and just kind of have fun with it, but in a more casual manner, like a slumber party, like a sleepover, like you're hanging out with friends and you've just got lots of thoughts and opinions, because I'm full of thoughts and opinions. So when it comes to reading books and like what kind of things we'll talk about at my slumber parties that you guys are totally invited to, lots of different kinds. So really right now, since October is coming up and it's September, I've kind of been focusing on scary stories, horror stories, and things of that nature. But I like to read pretty much anything and everything to an extent. I like fantasy books. I like cozy fantasy books. I like those romancy books. I like romance books themselves. I like horror books. I like thriller books. So, like, just to give you a few examples for say, this one's Little Eve. Little Eve is one that I started around last year, but I did not finish it, not because it wasn't good. I was just reading too many things at the time. So Little Eve is something I may be picking up as a book read for October for us. So spooky reads or romance reads. This is Allie Hazelwood, who everyone knows. Some just fantasy reads. This is Cursed. I picked this one up actually at a used bookstore, and I know that the Netflix series that came out a while ago was based on this one, and I don't remember much coming of it, but this one is very neat because, of course, it's got some fun illustrations in it. So this will be one that's definitely still on my TBR list. But like other things, but Thistlefoot is kind of based on folklore with I'll say folklore, but like Baba Yaga, like it's fun. This one currently in process evocation. Vampire Things, not just Twilight. This is actually The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. And Holly Black is actually one of my favorite authors. And she writes a lot of fae books. So definitely, fantasy. Oh, sorry, I'm pulling books out and I'm making a mess. Which is kind of what my brain is like whenever I'm reading my books anyway. Actually, I have this in 2 covers. So all kinds of books. Pretty much, if it sounds like it could be a good book, I'll read the book and we'll talk about it. We'll see this is just ones that aren't even on my shelf. This is just, we have a lot to talk about. A lot. So the way we're going to talk about these books as we're hanging out in my slumber party is through a few different things. We're going to do a rating system for our books. So let's just pick up Long Live Evil, for example. Bookmarks. This one was more of a romantasy book. So the way we would rate things, or I'm going to rate things, or kind of give you like the scale of my review. We're going to do those in flashlight rating. So whether or not it's, something that's going to keep you up at night, but in a good way, like you're going to get under the covers and you'd want to read it until your parents came in and told you like to turn off the light and go to bed. What kind of books give you that kind of feeling, of, oh, I've really got to finish this one right now? Or if they don't, and then kind of like what elements, like, is it more of a romance? Is it more fantasy? Like, what kind of characters are we following? So we'll just do a general rating system. And then we'll kind of give a spoilerish free review. Sometimes I just get so excited and need to talk about things, but I would definitely label anything that's going to be a spoiler video. But we would talk about things like this. And aside from talking about fun things in general, like as far as what the book is about, another thing that we're going to talk about as we read through books, because this is something that has influenced me with books since I began reading, is that books, whenever you read them, all kinds of different books, depending on where they're set, there's always, something in there like an item or a lot of times it'd be like a food item or something like that that the characters, bring up more than once. And if it's brought up more than once, usually I want to eat it because I want to know why they keep bringing it up. And there's a Sophie Kinsella book called, I believe it's I've Got Your Number, or I want to say it's I've Got Your Number. I'm looking at it over there, but I'm blind with my ring light. But that one actually had a chapter in it where the main character was eating a Magnum, a white chocolate Magnum, I believe, which is an ice cream. And I didn't know that. And because of that book, I went out and bought white chocolate Magnum. I wasn't really impressed, but I tried it because of a book. So if you want to kind of get me to buy something from you, if you advertise it in the book I really like, you got a chance of me picking that up, So we'll kind of talk about if there's things like that. So like when it comes to, where are we? I got so many books over here, guys. Where do we want to start? You know what I said? Spooky. Excuse me. Had to edit where I was coughing and dying off screen. All right, excuse me. I had to work on getting my cough out. So, backtrack. Boop. So, if there's something in the book that, I'm reading that we think would be neat, you think would be neat, I think would be neat, we'll try it. So, what I'm planning on starting with for our nice little slumber party vibes is we know October is coming up. It's spooky season, spooky time, spooky books. So, we're going to go through some spooky books, review a few of my favorite ones, some suggestions, books that you guys like that are good for the spooky season, and kind of like collaboration. We'll do some reviews, things that you guys like to read, books you suggest. We may do some read-alongs, things like that. And then also in October, there is, I don't know what the new term for it now, since Nano is kind of not a thing right now, but there's still like, we called it Preptober, where you would prep stories to write your novel for National Novel Writing Month. If you ever participated in that, we try to do it almost every year, and we fail almost every year, except for one. But this year we're definitely planning, so we're going to be going through some of that when I talk to you guys about our stories too. I say are because, friends, we're friends. Things that we're going to be working on. So thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for visiting. When we do our next video, we're going to be doing our actual first review, which is on this book I just finished reading called The 13th Child by Erin A. Craig, which was, I would classify it as, again, this is me personally, it was more of a fantasy. It kind of turned into what I felt like was fantasy romance, but overall it was like a good, like, magical realism fantasy. And we'll kind of talk about the reason why, because if I give you too much information now, why would you come back to watch the review? You should come back to watch the review. It's going to be much more in depth. And we'll kind of talk about like some symbolism, things I like, things I didn't like, rated on our system. And there is actually a little treat in here I kind of wanted to try that's brought up a few times, so we will probably discuss that one. So I'm not going to keep you too much longer because it's a slumber party and everybody gets tired in slumber parties eventually, and I don't want to get marker on my face. So thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for coming to my slumber party, and good night. I'll see you guys in the next one.